A 120-year-old farmhouse is still standing strong with its original wood siding intact. Right next to it, a 1990s tract home has rotting window frames and bubbling paint. What does the old house have that the new one is missing? In the decades before World War I, the American porch was more than an architectural flourish. From New England to the Deep South, nearly 3/4 of new homes featured a covered entry, often stretching 6, 8, sometimes even 12 feet from the main wall. Pattern books and builder manuals of the era didn't treat the porch as optional. They specified minimum depths, 4 feet at the very least, and 8 or more for a true gathering space, and they called for eaves that projected 12 to 30 inches past the supporting posts. The Historic American Building Survey, along with thousands of insurance maps and mortgage forms, confirm this. By 1915, over 78% of new single-family homes in the Midwest recorded a full porch. In the South, the figure climbed above 90%, with porches expanding to the entire width of the facade, raised on brick piers to keep timber dry. But the porch's real job wasn't just to host lemonade or neighbours. It was a deliberate envelope defence, an engineered barrier between weather and wall. By extending the roofline, the porch intercepted rain, snow and sun before they ever touched siding, windows or foundation. Overhangs of 24 inches or more created a dry zone that kept water from running down the wall or pooling at the footings. Even the floor sloped gently away, channeling water toward hidden drains. In a time before synthetic wraps or vapor barriers, this was building science by necessity, not nostalgia. Every gallon of water hitting an unprotected wall is a slow structural attack the builder will never be around to answer for. The porch, in its heyday, was the home's first and most reliable line of defense. Levitt & Sons did not just build houses, they manufactured a new idea of home, one blueprint at a time. In 1947, their Nassau County project dropped the full porch for a shallow, concrete stoop. The reason was not a sudden dislike of lemonade or neighbourly chats, it was arithmetic. Internal builder memos from the era show a clear directive: eliminate non-essential envelope features, push the roofline to the wall, and pocket the difference. Each omitted porch saved Levitt between $8,000 and $15,000 per house. Money that once paid for timber framing, roof decking and finish work now padded the bottom line. Multiply by thousands of homes and the savings swelled into millions. Air conditioning gave builders cultural cover to frame outdoor living as unnecessary, while quietly removing a passive moisture management system no HVAC unit can replace. By the late 1950s, central air was the new status symbol, and marketing copy declared the porch obsolete. The message was simple: why shade your walls or sit outside when you can seal yourself in and let the compressor do the work? Industry cost tables from the National Association of Home Builders confirm the calculus. In 1950, the line item for porch and stoop averaged $10,000, roughly 2% of a median new home price today. The porch was not just a social relic, it was a target for cost-cutting, a feature quietly erased to maximize interior square footage and develop a profit. The result? A generation of homes with no buffer between weather and wall, their structural fate sealed in the name of efficiency and modern convenience. Every gallon of water hitting an unprotected wall is a slow structural attack the builder will never be around to answer for. At Oak Ridge National Laboratory, researchers set up a simple experiment. 2 full-scale wall assemblies side by side, exposed to a year of humid real-world weather. One wall had a 24-inch overhang, just enough to mimic the kind of porch eave any Victorian carpenter would have insisted on. The other had none. Sensors buried 5 centimeters deep in the wood tracked every change in moisture content. The numbers did not just nudge, they jumped. The wall without overhang absorbed 30% more moisture by mass over the year. That is not a rounding error, it is a hidden reservoir quietly saturating sheathing, framing, and insulation. The Oak Ridge National Laboratory team did not stop at water weight. They measured how this extra load accelerates hydrolysis in wood fibers, shortens the lifespan of OSB by over a decade, and erases the R value of insulation, meaning higher energy bills and a faster path to mold. Their paired t-test reached 99% confidence. In the language of science, that is as close to a smoking gun as it gets. Every drop of rain that hits an unprotected wall is counted, measured, and eventually paid for. Oriented strandboard OSB became the wall sheathing of choice just as porches disappeared. It is engineered to be strong, but only when dry. According to APA laboratory tests, when OSB reaches a 20% moisture content, it loses about half its flexural strength. This is not a slow decline, it is a sudden, invisible collapse of what is holding the walls together. In APA's own words, the reduction in strength is rapid and not fully reversible. Combine that with fast-grown softwood framing, lighter, more porous, and far more absorbent than the old-growth timber of pre-war homes, and the result is a perfect storm. Moisture enters through every inch of exposed wall, and the OSB starts to swell, flake, and eventually crumble. The house does not just age, it fails on a schedule. Or as one building scientist put it, combining fast-grown softwood framing with moisture-sensitive OSB sheathing, and then removing the one architectural feature that kept water away from both of them produces not a house, but a repair schedule. The industry's own repair timelines quietly confirm it. Major wall replacement is now expected within 20 to 30 years of construction. The code is the floor, not the ceiling, and the floor has cracks. The International Residential Code sets the minimum standard for new homes in America, minimum being the operative word. Nowhere in its latest edition will you find a requirement for a front overhang, let alone a porch. As long as a builder installs basic flashing and a water-resistive barrier, the code allows the roofline to stop flush with the wall. The result is a regulatory vacuum. Builders save on materials and labor, but the bill does not vanish. It migrates. Homeowners face the fallout, often years after move-in. Field surveys of repair companies and insurance adjusters put the average cost to remediate a single moisture-damaged wall between $4,000 and $12,000, depending on finishes and the extent of ROT. That is before factoring in the annual energy penalty of $200 to $400 from wet insulation and lost R value. Meanwhile, buyers in historic districts from Charleston to Savannah pay a 4 to 7% premium for homes with original, deep porches. A quiet market verdict on what the code ignores. The code is the floor, not the ceiling. And the floor has cracks. In this system, the homeowner becomes the safety net, absorbing every hidden cost that the builder sidesteps. If there is a winner here, it is not the person signing the mortgage. Seaside, Florida did not wait for this disaster to prove a point. In 1987, the town wrote a simple rule into its building code. Every new house must have a front porch with a roof overhang of at least 24 inches. This was not nostalgia. It was a calculated move to keep walls dry in a climate where salt air and summer rain punish anything left exposed. Over the next 2 decades, building permit records and insurance claims told a clear story. Compared to neighbouring towns, Seaside reported 65% fewer wall rot claims per capita. The town's planners credited the overhang for this result, noting that deep porches shielded not just wood and paint, but the wallets of homeowners. In Seaside, the porch was not a historic quirk. It became policy, a proof that protecting the envelope is a choice, not an accident. The evidence stands in the repair logs. Measure the overhang at the front door. If it doesn't reach at least 24 inches from the wall, you're looking at a future maintenance bill, not just a design choice. Siding should stop no closer than 18 inches from the ground. Anything less invites splashback and capillary rise. Use a certified home inspector, not the builder's hand-picked friend. As one veteran inspector puts it, your inspector works for you. Everyone else works for the builder. Insist on moisture meter readings. Wood at or below 15% is considered dry. Readings edging above 20% are a warning sign. Ask for these numbers in writing before closing. In your contract, specify a continuous water-resistive barrier and a detailed water management plan. Not just what code allows, but what building science recommends. If overhangs or flashing fall short, demand remediation or a warranty extension. The right checklist now is the difference between a home and a repair schedule. Today, every gallon of water hitting an unprotected wall is a slow, structural attack the builder will never be around to answer for. The code is the floor, not the ceiling, and the floor has cracks. Your inspector works for you. Everyone else works for the builder. Stay vigilant.